Now Rebecca passed away.
It's very sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could have timed that news a little better.
Right? Oh, yeah. You couldn't have died,
You couldn't have waited a week?
Yeah,
don't you know we're celebrating right now? Yeah, speaking of celebrating.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You were waiting for it.
Yeah, I was like,
Yub-nub, Connor.
Yep.
Yub-nub. The evil is defeated.
Oh, yeah.
Now we can all go home, and we don't have to worry about anything ever again.
Yay.
For the listeners, Connor just spazzed out as like a little celebration thing. Kind of looked like the Tusken Raider from episode 4, just like raising his thing up. Yeah, that's what it kind of looked like.
I made fun of The Mandalorian once, and now you're bringing up Star Wars references to counter me now?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Connor, did you not see if you look at the Google search results for the Yub-Nub of the last month, or even the last 7 days, there's a dramatic spike.
Yeah.
There's something very specific to cause that spike.
It is a cultural celebrity song. I mean, a celebration song.
It is. It is. It is. You see all the other countries celebrating too? They were like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I saw fireworks in London and shit, and I was like, oh, damn, I didn't know it was that serious.
And then people in the Middle East were celebrating as well.
It was that serious, by the way.
Yeah. Well, what, really?
Yes.
I just knew it was going down, but...
Yes. Shit. They were scared, bro. They were like, what the fuck are they doing over there?
Yeah.
So... all right. Weeds are pulled out. Mm-hmm. Now it's just a matter of... we got the ugliest weed out.
Yeah, the ugliest public weed.
Yeah, the one that everybody could see. But now we got to dig into the roots. Got to get them roots out, and then we got to start tending this garden. Mm-hmm. You know, got to make this garden look presentable. You know,
yeah, a
lot of work left to be done.
That'll happen very soon.
Good luck to my kids, bro. I'm gonna do the best for them and then dip.
Tavin, you'll be dead before you have kids. We all will.
Well, that's
super
very dark. Where did that come
I don't even
from?
have a reason for it either. There's not like an event that I see coming in the future that's going to cause that.
Are you gonna kill me as soon as the show is over?
No. That's funny.
I'm gonna wake up to you in the middle of the night and you're just gonna be over, and then press a pillow into my face.
I do have the code to your house now. You told me to use it.
Okay, so I guess we'll just start then.
Yeah.
What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host, Connor Elliott. Say hi to the people, Connor.
Hi, guys. How's it going? You can't respond.
What?
They can't respond.
They can't respond.
I can't, like, if I can say
we got a comment section. They could comment.
Yeah, they can.
They can comment.
Ooh, they can.
Where can they comment, Connor? On YouTube and SoundCloud every Monday morning at 8 a.m. when we release each of our very lovely episodes, in which me and my good friend Connor here come to you with our two topics, two pennies, if you will, and give you our 2 cents about the happenings in the gaming industry this week. Connor, it's a week of celebration all round, Connor.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Because on the same day that some fucking election got announced or whatever, the real news dropped.
The one that you and me have both been waiting for, you especially.
Yeah, no, hold on. Don't you be so quick to jump to my hip, motherfucker.
Oh, what's wrong?
Because I remember all these fucking times where you jumped around and said, oh, it's not gonna fucking happen.
I don't
Guess what, bitch?
I don't recall that.
Mass Effect is fucking back, baby.
I don't recall that.
It's fucking back.
For the record, I said that it would come back, but it was like delaying it.
Lying ass.
I did say it was coming back, but it is, back now.
It is back now. And they announced it on In7 Day, which was this last Saturday. A blog from, I think GameSpot leaked it first, but blog on the BioWare site. Written by Casey Hudson, allegedly written by Casey Hudson, who's the VP studio, of BioWare. He's the head honcho guy.
Yeah,
he's the big guy.
The face.
He's the Neil Druckmann. Mm-hmm. He's the Cory Barlog. He's that. He's the Hideo Kojima of BioWare. Anyways, so he announced, it's tough keeping a big secret, and we really struggled to keep this one a surprise. No shit. But now, it's official. Today, we announced the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. We've heard, for years, your requests for a Mass Effect remaster, so we're super happy to finally reveal that we've been working on a remastered edition of the Mass Effect trilogy.
You can quit bugging us about it.
For many months now, our team at BioWare has been hard at work updating the textures, shaders, models, effects, and technical features of 3 enormous games. Our goal was not to remake or reimagine the original games, but to modernize the experience so that fans and new players can experience the original work in its best possible form. It's been amazing to see the adventures of Commander Shepard take on new life in super sharp resolution, faster frame rates, and beautiful visual enhancements. As game developers, we always hope that our games will transcend their original platforms. Having the opportunity to remaster the trilogy means that the fruits of a decade of our work will live on, and will be experienced better and clearer than ever before. The Mass Effect Legendary Edition will include single-player-based content and DLC from Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3, plus promo weapons, armors, and packs, all remastered and optimized for 4K Ultra HD. It will be available in spring 2021 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, with forward compatibility and targeted enhancements on Series X and PlayStation 5. More information to come in the new year. Meanwhile, here at BioWare, a veteran team has been hard at work envisioning the next chapter of the Mass Effect universe. We are in the early stages of the project and can't say any more just yet, but we're looking forward to sharing our vision for where we'll be going next. For me personally, Mass Effect represents years of work and countless special memories, so every year I feel incredibly fortunate to celebrate N7 Day with players around the world. Thank you so much for supporting us over the years. Can't wait to continue our adventure together, revisiting our favorite memories in the Mass Effect universe and creating brand new ones. Casey.
You were very passionate during that reading, more so than even in the last one.
Fucking go, boy! Woo!
And this comes right after you platinumed all the games.
And I'm gonna go do it again.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna do it again. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so motherfucking excited.
Now, as a trophy player, do you think they're going to be the same exact trophies and you're just going to have to do them again? Or do you think they're going to go and revamp them?
Not.
You know not? They're bad?
Well, there's multiplayer ones tied to Mass Effect 3. So obviously those, no.
No. Yeah.
Because it's been known for quite a while now that the Mass Effect for Multiplayer 3 is not coming,
No,
unfortunately, because that's a fun multiplayer mode.
Yeah, very disappointed, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
but
sure.
It's understandable.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see all these up-resed textures and shaders and technical effects and all these things, especially when it comes to Mass Effect 1, which is, by far the harshest looking game in the trilogy. And even in the series, if we really want to talk about it. I can't. It's got all this great artwork. They got a poster. It looks like a Star Wars poster with all the characters on it. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Mass Effect is the Star Wars of video games, Connor, and it's
oh yeah, in terms of its aesthetic and its
and also
type.
just its creativity in its world and its universe and it's so cool. So cool. God, I love Mass Effect. God, I'm so excited. I'm hoping that they stay true to this thing about how they're not planning on reimagining or making the trilogy, and they're just kind of polishing it and making it look better. I'm hoping for like a Halo anniversary type treatment, where Mass Effect, especially Mass Effect 1, just looks like a different game. Like it looks like your dreams. I hope. I don't think it will. I think it'll just be a little prettier, a little clearer. The film grain will probably be gone. Lighting might be a little better. Yeah. Models might be a little more high res.
It'll look cleaner overall.
That is my realistic prediction. My get height type of prediction is that like full on like all the textures are redone and maybe even like no, that's too far. I was going to say maybe they like rework some of those planets because the planets are obviously like they just went okay, randomized terrain.
Yeah.
And it's like
when they have Mass Effect 2 and 3 recreate as well, they're not going to go, I don't think, to that length to make these very different planets.
Yeah, I'm also just happy. I hope they especially on PlayStation 3, bugs and glitches are super prevalent in especially 2 and in 3. And I hope that they work all of those out and they get it all working. I don't want any more, blank eyes, just white eyes, no irises or anything. I don't want any more weird, like, Shepard's smile, like, breaks in Mass Effect 3 all the fucking time. I don't want any of that. I'm hoping T-poses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Characters will just, like, disappear from the frame and just not be in the frame anymore.
Yeah. These are all things that they'll most likely be
that will hopefully be fixed. I hope the DLC for the games always looks significantly worse than the main game. Except for Mass Effect 3.
No. Kind of went out with that one, huh?
So I'm hoping that, they improve all of the visual quality of all the DLCs and bring them up to par with the main games. Oh my god, I'm so fucking excited, Connor. And then they would go ahead and they say, yeah, fuck it. We are making another Mass Effect.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that they are, considering that Anthem, their last game,
Anthem's flopping.
It's an official flop. And Andromeda didn't do good before that, so this is in addition to Dragon Age, the other game...
And Dragon Age has never been the hit series that Mass Effect has. Or even Star Wars, when they did KOTOR.
No, of course not. But it will make the money if and when it does come out, which probably will come out. But, it's very up in the air about when that's even coming out in the first place. So
I'm going to predict we see Dragon Age 4 before we see this new Mass Effect.
Oh, we definitely will. I'm pretty certain they haven't really actually started making the game yet. They're still, juggling concepts.
It feels like concept art type to work. Like, let's pitch it and get these stories. Like, it sounds like they just got the green light.
But might as well announce it. As long as you're not going to show us anything or do any trailers. Yeah, it's just good to know that this is in development.
Now, do they continue with the Andromeda kind of foundation that they created, or do they kind of just ignore that and throw it away?
Well, you see, that was my next question to you, because to be quite honest, it's impossible to tell what they're planning.
Yeah.
So, from your perspective, what would you want them to do? Because I can say, certainly for me, I just go back to the established universe that took 3 games to really, develop.
Yeah.
Just stay in that universe.
I'm of 3 minds of this.
Okay.
Let's get the ones that I hope don't happen out of the way first. First is throwing away Andromeda tells everybody that that game was terrible and shit and everything that the internet's been saying it has been forever. It always bothers me for kind of a parallel example to this. Batman Arkham Origins always gets shit on, but from all reports, it's a really solid game and it's got one of the best stories in the entire franchise. But Rocksteady never includes it in any of the conversations. It doesn't get put in any of the collections or whatever. It's only the main 3 games, that is Asylum City and Night. So I don't think it's fair, because there are good qualities in Andromeda. There's just a lot of meh, and then there's some really bad qualities about it. But it's mostly just meh. So I think it would be really bold and really ballsy and really cool if they doubled down and say, no, we started this story, we're going to maybe not continue that story, but we're going to continue with Andromeda as a universe, as a thing. My second idea is they do another spin-off just entirely, and it's totally different again. And they're like, okay, well, that didn't work. We don't know how to continue the story in the Milky Way because of how dramatically the Mass Effect trilogy ends. So let's try again. Let's try another one.
Another big adventure.
Yeah, another big. Yeah, let's
big galaxy.
Reset these scales. And figure out a way narratively that we can get away from Shepard's story.
And they could always just tone it down. It doesn't have to be a whole galaxy-wide threat thing.
And this is where I'm at.
Yes.
Connor. This is my third and what I would do as a storyteller. I would go to the first Contact War. Which, if you don't remember, Connor, because it's been a while since you played the game, and for people who haven't played the game who are listening, The First Contact War is the first big war that humans are involved in on a galactic scale when they, because in Mass Effect, humans are the new kid on the block. And First Contact War is kind of like their first trial. And they're going to war with the Turians, who are like this like huge dominating force. Like they've just got crazy numbers and they're like super fight to the death.
They're an
like,
empire, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. It's super like, it'd be like if you kind of went to war against like Russia or China or something. It's like, they just got numbers. Mm-hmm. Like, and they're not, they're no pushovers either, So it's like, oh, you don't want to go to war with those fuckers. That's what I would do. I would craft a story around there. And from there, you can have returning characters who are old enough to remember the First Contact War. Donald Anderson. Or David... No, Donald Anderson, because David Keith is the guy who plays it. Maybe not have him return. Maybe do have him return. Who knows?
Liara would be in there, if I remember correctly.
I would leave Liara out. She's old enough, but the problem is she would be a child.
She would. Well, how long ago did it happen in relation to Mass Effect 1?
Long enough for Anderson to be involved in it.
Well, that's the case. Liara's like, what, 300 something at that point?
She's
already very young.
She's almost 100.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or she's just over 100.
Oh, okay. I thought she was in like 300, so it would work out that way.
No,
okay.
no. She's young. She's young.
Yeah, well,
in comparison to the rest of these, who lived to be 1,000.
Yeah.
You could have characters like Ashley Williams' grandfather in there. So there's tie-ins you can have from Shepard's story that you can bring in and have those elements, and so it feels you still have that sense of familiarity amongst everything else. I forget the specifics. I don't know if the Rachni War happens in that time or if it's way before humans are even involved. I don't know if...
I thought it was before it happened.
I don't remember the exact details. I don't remember the exact timeline. Or if even the Krogan rebellions were pre or post-human. But like having influence over how bloody that battle could be. And at the end, we know how it ends, obviously.
The humans win.
Well...
Is that what happened? Or is it a truce?
It's more of a stalemate.
Oh, okay. I was like, I know that establishes humanity as more dominant in the universe.
It's enough to where humans immediately gain respect.
Yeah.
As a force. They don't, it's not, and of course humans being as egotistical as we are, we're immediately like, alright, well let's get involved in the government and shit, and everyone's like, whoa, hold on, pump your brakes.
Yeah.
So it's more to just be like, oh, okay, no, humans are here and they're legit. They're not some of the lesser species. They're here, and they're probably gonna be here to stay. But even in that, we could have like stories upon because that's like a 4-year war.
Yeah.
So like we could have an entire campaign, and there are details flushed out, but there's not an entire war flushed out. So there's a bunch of stories you could tell in that. I also don't think it's impossible to come back post Reaper War. You'd have to set it hundreds of years in the future, yes. I think. 200 at least plus, maybe 300 plus.
Well, you see, that was going to connect to what I would think they could do with that is, by that point, they could have some connection with the Andromeda system and just expand the world by including both the Milky Way galaxy and the Andromeda system.
That sounds really big.
It sounds very big. But,
that sounds really big.
Mass Effect... We had the entire Milky Way to do things in the other Mass Effect games. Did it ever feel like it was too big? Because you couldn't visit every single planet. You couldn't do, every single area didn't have this sprawling, ecosystems that you could travel that would take hours upon hours to explore everything. But it was a lot more,
Could you explore every planet in Andromeda? I don't remember. I don't think you could.
I don't think you could either. Which is why they would, pick and choose, like, okay, this planet, this is the idea we have for it.
But then you'd have to create a narrative reason as to why everybody can go back and forth between... the Milky Way and Andromeda, because it takes years for whatever their ships are called in Andromeda to get to the Andromeda system.
That's why, like, maybe 100 years, or a couple hundred years in the future, they could have found a way where, okay, we've established a foothold in this galaxy, now we can create technologies that allow us to traverse these systems more quickly than, years and years and years, and that's the point that they're at.
Maybe.
There's so many ways they could take this game.
Maybe. And then you just change some... Well, the problem is like if you include the Milky Way post Reaper War, depending on Shepard's choice, everybody on a DNA basic DNA level might be different.
That could be the case too.
know?
But you're telling me the issue of making things too big between two galaxies would be a problem. And that the genetic makeup of the Solarians.
Well, I'm talking
they're big muscular guys.
Yo,
now.
they barely got Andromeda out the door. You're telling me they gonna make Mass Effect and Andromeda?
They're probably not.
All
it's
in
just
one?
It's just an idea.
That's a lot.
I
That's
think
a lot just on a gameplay mechanic level.
They would, at the end of the day, more likely pick either Andromeda, which I do hope would be years in the future to where it's a sprawling ecosystem rather than a new setup, so they can just do their own story.
That
that
setup
may
thing
not be
could have
as
worked
crazy.
so well though. If they had the time and pitched it right and started that development right.
I know, but they fumbled it.
They fumbled it
They're
hard.
not. It'd be weird if we go back to that and we're doing the same exact stuff.
Yeah, it would.
So they won't be able to do that.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you could just have everybody's fucking eyes be green. It's not that big of a deal. Which I think everybody claims that as the canon ending anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, dude. I'm so excited. Just at the possibilities. The possibilities.
And is the original... I know members of the original team are working on this, so it's not going to be like what we had with Andromeda, what team did that? Was it like the B team or the
It's
UC
their I
team?
think it was their Montreal team.
Yeah, something like that.
I forget.
But
whatever.
not the people who made the original Mass Effect games.
No,
And
yeah,
those
it's
people-
I want to say it's their multiplayer team from 3 who then expanded and became
studio in
a
itself.
full studio and
right.
stuff, and handled Andromeda as a whole. But oh my god, dude. I can't wait for these fucking remasters. That's all I really want. That's all that really matters.
Because it's not like you're getting the Mass Effect sequel or the next game in the installment for a while.
Yeah.
So the trilogy is just going to be a lot of fun.
It's imagine being on a campaign in the First Contact War, and it's depending on your actions, it's going really well or going very poorly.
That does sound appealing. Yeah.
Or it's like. Sure, the stakes aren't galaxy wide, but they're personal.
Very personal.
Every choice you have to keep making choices that could kill off crewmates.
Mm-hmm.
So the personal stakes are always high. Oh my god.
Mass Effect games have always done that pretty well because you always have your you always have your team that mainly with 2, mainly because that end mission.
Well, yeah,
a lot of them could die.
because in 2 everybody can die.
Yeah, everyone can die.
In 1, 2 to 3 people can die. In 3, it's pretty hard to kill people in 3.
Yeah,
it's pretty hard to get people killed in 3. I mean, it's possible. You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of have to go out of your way with some of them.
I would hope they do that with take that element from Mass Effect 2, though, if they were to do that First Contact War, because in a war-like setting, the possibility of everyone you know and being friends with or being romanced with dying.
Well, let's say if you get a new trilogy with the First Contact War, every game ends with a suicide mission.
Yeah.
Thing. Oh my god, it'd be so great. The only problem is that you can't really have any Turians on your team.
Yeah.
It would probably be mostly a human team, which is kind of...
Yeah, well, that was what I was going to bring up next, is how ingrained are the other species going to be? Because one of the things I loved about Mass Effect was the fact that because it's this, sprawling ecosystem and this galaxy with all these different races, they were represented pretty well because it concerned everyone.
Well, it's even in the world of Mass Effect, Shepard's journey is a very unique one in how diverse it is.
Yes.
Even from the ship was co-designed by Turians and humans, the Normandy.
Yeah.
So there's a scene in Mass Effect 1 where somebody comes on, where some human general or whatever comes on and says, "Hey, why is it like this? Why is it like this? Why is it like this?" And Shepard has the opportunity to explain to him "Hey, it's so that we can promote unity and we can take the best from both cultures and all of this type of stuff." Or he can tell that general to go fuck off. And it's God, that game is so good. I want it to be pretty. I just want it to be pretty and run at a consistent frame rate.
Well, I think you'll be getting that bet. Even though it was a little disconcerting when probably no real worries that it wasn't being released for PS5 or Xbox Series X. It's all just going to be compatible with the new consoles. They're being specifically created though for PS4.
I'm slightly disappointed in that. I think that's because if I were to guess, COVID delayed this game severely. Mm-hmm. If I were to guess, we would have already had this if not for COVID. And speaking of COVID, Connor.
Yes.
It's not the only thing that's affecting the world at large. Connor, because it's time. That was my first penny, if nobody knew.
Yes, and now it's time for my first penny.
Because of course it was. Now it's time for your first penny.
Of course. Actually, I was going to, I thought in my mind, I can just take this penny, because I can claim it as my own first before you did. But I decided that would be rude.
There's no way you were up at 10 a.m.
I was actually.
No,
surprisingly,
you weren't.
Yeah.
Ah.
I got woken up by a friend of mine.
I kept refreshing the blog. I was like, I kept going to my Twitter. I'm like, all right, either a site's gonna leak it, or like somebody's gonna tweet it and see it before me, or it's gonna come on the blog. And I kept refreshing. It took like 5-10 minutes before it showed up. But anyways, COVID, it's killing us, Connor. PlayStation 5s won't be available for in-store purchase on launch day. Sony confirms. This is from The Verge by Chris Welch. After a hectic pre-order season, Sony today announced that there will be no PlayStation 5 consoles available for walk-in purchases at retail stores on the console's launch date. The company shared the news via a tweet and a blog post and is strongly discouraging eager gamers from lining up outside stores. If you do, it'll be for nothing. All day of launch sales will be conducted through the online stores of our retail partners. Sony's Sid Schumann wrote in the blog post, no units will be available in-store for purchase on launch day, November 12th or November 19th, depending on your region. Please don't plan on camping out or lining up at your local retailer on launch day in hopes of finding a PlayStation 5 console for purchase. Be safe, stay home, and place your order online, he added. Note that this does not impact orders placed for in-store pickup. If you've already pre-ordered a PlayStation 5 with Best Buy, GameStop, Target, or another retailer and have been confirmed for launch day pickup, you'll still be getting a new console without issue. But this is Sony taking steps to prevent unnecessary lines at retailers around the globe as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to stretch on. It sucks. And it's unfortunately the world we live in.
Yeah. But pretty much a necessity to make sure that people aren't.
Let's make sure people are safe, and we don't need any more spikes in infections and in deaths and in hospitalizations and all of that. And I think this confirms the bigger issue of COVID has just been affecting manufacturing.
Yeah.
It's just harder to get through. PlayStation 5s were sold out within the first hour.
Yes.
I think I saw within the first day they sold more PS5s than they did PS4s in the first 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
I remember we had covered that they had just, completely just been taken by surprise by how much people were going to buy the consoles. And people were getting their pre-orders denied.
Yep.
And all sorts of things.
People
like that
would have
happen.
them confirmed, and then a day later be denied, and then be like, it was a mess.
This is also a good way to just control how PlayStation 5s are given out, because now you have to confirm for in-store pickups.
Yeah,
and they'll at least you'll be able to know beforehand that will I be able to get my hands on a PS5?
Yeah. Does suck for everybody else who couldn't get in that first hour though.
It does suck.
I.e. me, who has been searching every day at the Amazons for availability. It's not coming, Tavin. You should just give up.
It'll be a little while. And then you have Black Friday coming along. That'll just... If there are some still available...
There won't be. There won't be.
Yeah. If there's a window, though, it's going to be gone by the time you realize...
We might have some... There might be early December type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To push for the holidays. I'm going to guess not really until 2021 will they actually be super available.
Mm-hmm.
Which sucks and is unfortunate. I'm really... the embargoes for review for both Series X and PlayStation 5 lifted this last week. Everybody seems positive.
Yeah. Just seems like a better console from what I heard.
Okay, new one.
One thing I did hear, by the way, is that the PlayStation 5 is a lot quieter than the PS4. So no more jokes like that.
Let's see how that works, 5 years in.
Yeah, but at least it's good now. At least we're not
in. going
to have to, you're not going to sit and watch me play Resident Evil 3 going,
yeah, it's loud.
It's very
Something
loud,
about those Capcom games just turns it into a jet engine. But that's also a launch PlayStation 5, or PlayStation 4, so, 7 years, not bad.
Yeah, it is good.
And it only gets loud sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Other people it gets loud no matter what game you play.
No, it does not. Thankfully, I was never one of those people.
Yeah, and I've never had that issue either.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah. Let's wait before we make any decisions about how loud a PlayStation 5 gets. Let's wait until a couple of hefty software updates come through, or a game actually pushes the hardware to its limits, or all that. Let's see what does a late generation Naughty Dog game do to your PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens then.
Something that I thought of when I was reading this story is that you don't see any of this stuff happening for Xbox Series X. For the reasons it being not people really rushing to get it, because there's not really an incentive to buy it as of right now. But I think it's just really funny to see the PlayStation 5, selling out and having all these problems with it. And
as far as I know, you also cannot get a Series X.
Oh, you can.
As far as I know, you cannot.
I figured people weren't going to be jumping at the bit to get that.
Well, I mean, people are just excited for the new tech anyway. These are still consoles that are going to sell millions.
They still are.
Yeah.
But PlayStation 5, did better than it ever expected to do, so I figured that
they sold more in the first day than the first 12 weeks of last gen. That's insanity. And they were selling like hotcakes last gen,
too.
They
were. I remember having trouble getting it.
So, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah. I want to play the review for Spider-Man came out, Connor.
Yeah.
People like it. People like the Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I want to play it, Connor.
I just want to play Demon Souls.
I know, but I want to play Miles, and I won't be able to.
Well, we're both going to have to suffer until we get the chance to play that.
We do have Assassin's Creed next week to hold us over. So
hold you over. I will continue playing Genshin Impact and getting my wishes. That means nothing to you.
That hurt. I just felt.
How do you think I feel?
Felt the air of virginity.
Oh, well, yeah, it's there, but it's not good air in any capacity.
Okay. Well, yeah. I don't know if there's much more to say other than just lie in wait and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and jump straight into your second penny here, Connor.
COVID hitting once again.
Is it though?
Well, that's what they claim.
So Sega cuts salaries, asks over 600 employees to retire. I gotta write my little note. Okay, there we go. This is from Game Rant by Tennille Eveland. Sega Sammy is having a difficult year and as a result have announced some major changes to its investors. Sega stated that these changes, including transferring shares, cutting salaries, and requesting early retirement from employees, is due to the heavy impact of the coronavirus on the arcade and amusement business. This is not the first loss for Sega this year. On the 30th of August, Sega shuts down its famous Akihabara.
Yeah, that was
arcade. Look at me. I can do it. Also known as the Sega 2 building in Japan. This arcade was an iconic landmark for tourists. The popular building was featured in the backdrop of various video games set in modern-day Japan. The company revealed its plans to recover earnings and achieve growth in the future in its notice of forecast document released on November 6th. According to the document, Sega Sammy has created a structural reform committee to take a look at its non-business properties, rebuild an organizational structure that can adapt to changes in the market, and reduce costs. The company has set a reduction target of 15 billion yen, which equals $145,215,165 US dollars. Sega plans to achieve this reduction goal by focusing on group-wide fixed expenses. As part of this structural reform, Sega Sammy announced to its shareholders on the 4th of November that it will sell the majority of its shares in its Sega Entertainment division to Japanese amusement rental businesses, Genda Incorporated. I don't know what that is. According to Sega Sammy, Genda has a, quote, strong desire to expand amusement operations in Japan. Sega will be transferring approximately 81% of its shares of Sega Entertainment and retain just 14.9%. The deal is scheduled to go through on the 30th of December. And then on November 6th, the company announced that it has decided to call for voluntary retirement of 650 of its 9,051 employees to promote cost reduction. Full-time employees and contract employees of group companies are eligible. Sega Sammy is requesting a retirement date of February 28th, 2021. Employees that choose to retire voluntarily will receive, quote, payment of extraordinary retirement allowances and reemployment support for applicants. In addition to calling for voluntary retirement, the company stated that there will be a reduction in directors' compensation. According to the notice of forecast document, the company decided to... oh, okay, I see. Somebody forgot a space here. Document... The company decided to reduce pay for the board directors and executive officers and some group companies. The reduction amount varies from 5 to 30% pay reduction for different positions. I assume that cut gets smaller the higher up the chain you go.
Yes, I would assume so as well.
This pay reduction is applicable until March 2021. Sega Sammy also stated it does not plan on paying out bonuses to the directors as they are performance-based.
This all does sound really bad for Sony. Or for Sega.
This sounds rough.
Yes.
This sounds rough. It's been no secret, if you've been paying any attention, that the giant that was Sega has been shrinking in the last 2 decades, really. Their only real promising IP has been Sonic, and they were still trying to be heavy in the arcade business, which is pretty much dead here in the West, but is still alive in Japan and other countries.
Yes.
Obviously, COVID affects that, so obviously that affects your bottom line. But here's the thing: these times were coming for Sega.
Definitely exacerbated by COVID, but
sure, yeah, you speed it up, but
Sega hasn't been doing all that well.
This is GameStop, it's not as evil as GameStop, I would say, but it's GameStop. Like GameStop's dying. We know it's dying. Sega's dying. We know they're dying. The only real big question here to me is what happens to Sega in the future. Because you can't just let an IP like Sonic the Hedgehog go.
No.
Like, it's too big, brings in, enough money. And there's some other IPs under Sega's belt that are worth interest. I can't remember any of them off the top of my head.
No, neither could I. But Vultures could definitely be circling right now, just waiting for their chance to pick
I could
something
see that
like
Sony coming in, snatching it up. Now, they say this Genda, whatever they are, buying up all these shares.
First time I heard about that.
We'll see what all that's about.
Yeah. Now, if whatever happens, will Sega continue under a different company, or will they just be completely eradicated and all that'll be left is their IP? And will they just be considered a famous game company that existed in the past and is no longer with us?
I would kill it.
Yeah, I don't see what their incentive would be on keeping it.
To keep it? No,
yeah,
I don't either.
It seems like it'd be more work to amp it up to the time where it used to be, making good games than just
Sega is still
letting it die.
Because you have to think about this generationally, because Sega's been around so long.
Yeah.
In the 90s, Sega was a fucking powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing their own consoles. They were doing, they were huge. By the time our generation comes around, their console side is done. They still make games, and they're still a name to be aware of. But I think for these kids coming up now, they don't give a fuck about Sega.
No, not at all.
So why even continue with that baggage of the company that died slowly and bled out? I don't know if you do.
And released very bad Sonic games for years to try and stay afloat.
I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see a reason as to why you would keep the brand name of Sega.
No. Beyond that, though, it did say that the employees will be getting extraordinary benefits. I don't know what that means. It could be anything. I hope it's good. I hope whatever it is they offer to their employees,
dude, it could
will
be
help
a
them
watch.
Get other jobs. It could be a watch.
It could be a watch.
But I don't know how unions are over there, if they have them.
They don't.
Whether they're not in Japan.
There's infamously little to no unions in the gaming industry.
I didn't know if Japan was any different, because you don't always see directors and board members take a reduced pay sometimes with this kind of stuff.
I think it's because they're forced to. If the company goes broke otherwise.
It's that bad for them, and that's what they're going to have to do now. So
this is unfortunate.
It is. Titan going down.
It's a Titan,
Yeah. But hey, they brought everyone good games. They made a lot of people who play games now who they are today. With
the
like
chapter
Sonic.
of Sega can't, you can't skip over that chapter.
No,
when you talk
can't.
about the history of games.
It was up there with Nintendo at one
huge.
point.
Yeah. They were going for Nintendo's neck.
No, they were.
And it was there was a moment where, at least on the consumer side, it looked like they might do it. But
it's pretty interesting when you look at Nintendo and see how much they're thriving and compare it to the time when they were going neck and neck with Sega, which is now obviously going downhill. So I think it's really... I always like looking into the past and seeing where companies like this are in relation to where they started. And Nintendo's really just stayed on top. Like, when you really think about it, for years and years and years,
You're going to say
going.
Nintendo's on top right now?
Well,
or has been on top for the last decade.
But like they're on top in the sense that other companies like them who have existed as long as they have aren't as strong as they were before. But they have the Switch going on. That
Atari's
sold
gone.
a lot of
Atari's
copies.
mostly gone.
Atari's mostly gone.
Sega's
they did
gone
Atari
away.
released a console recently. Like
and
random
exactly
console.
nobody cared.
Exactly.
You know,
but Nintendo released a console, and they got bought up.
it's a big console.
It's a big console,
the Switch is outselling the Xbox One.
Yeah.
4 years after launch? So
some number, yeah.
When I went to Florida the other month, saw mad Switches at the airport. Mm-hmm. People taking them out of bags for security. Got to do that security theater over at the airport.
Oh, yes.
You know, I mean, did I have my Switch? I did not have my Switch.
That's surprising.
No. Well, I brought the DS because I put it some Fire Emblem time.
Ah, good.
Precisely,
Good. Yeah.
you know, like 3 hours of Fire Emblem time.
That's not a lot.
I was hanging out with my dad. I was playing Avengers.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of Avengers, Connor,
yes.
it's not doing too well.
For like how many times have we covered it that it's not doing good?
The
third time, I think
this is like the second or third time. I think.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought as well. Worst news yet, I would have to say though.
Oh yeah, this one hurts. Mm-hmm. So this is an article from Happy Gamer by Chris Miller. I don't know this website. I don't know why I pulled this site. I don't know why I didn't.
One of the first things I saw was a typo. So yeah.
Oh great. Okay. Square Enix reports Marvel's Avengers brought a reported $63 million loss with low sales. Absolutely no one could have predicted this. Alright, immediately started with some sarcasm.
No one could have done. I had to look a second time, like, was this guy being funny? Or
why did I pick this article? Why did I do this?
No, I like this guy. Keep going.
Okay. Absolutely no one could have predicted this. The games as a service plan of Marvel's Avengers, where players are expected to continue to purchase microtransactions for the sole reason of playing as superheroes, has somehow fallen flat. I found that typo. You forgot an H there. You forgot an H. Somehow fallen flat. Okay. Well, first off, pause. There's not that many microtransactions in Marvel's Avengers, like, as of right now. Like,
but still, it is.
Are they coming? Probably.
Yeah.
They're probably coming.
It can be considered a microtransaction game.
Well, as someone who is somewhat familiar with those systems, there's no reason to be purchasing microtransactions at this point. Like, why are you... If you buy microtransactions from the launch vanilla version of Avengers that we have right now, you're an idiot. Like, why are you doing that? Now, when... You know, they get a couple of updates and a couple of heroes under their belt, then there might be some reasons to. But as of right now, like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing that? Anyways, have fallen flat. Promises that it was going to get better over time as development continued, or that beta testers during the open session largely panning the title, along with critics, were mistaken in both scope and play, seemed to not bode entirely well for the title. This guy is hating.
He is.
He is hating.
He does not like this game.
The game is not that bad.
But it failed bad.
Oh, yeah, it failed. The inclusion of superheroes in spandex. Why does he not like superheroes? Now he's hating on...
They're not even in spandex most of the time.
They're cool, too. Like, the story is cool. It's not great, but it's cool. The spandex, apparently notwithstanding the generally scathing criticism that has been aimed directly at the title... the reported 6.5 billion yen translates to roughly $63 million. This appears to come from the earnings release coming from Square Enix today. That overall project...
Project.
Oh, okay, I see. You're right.
Yeah.
All right, so let me start this sentence over. This appears to come from the earnings releases coming from Square Enix today that overall project a strong financial situation as expected from Square Enix. He's missing a comma is the issue.
Not perfect.
Not the perfect writer here, Chris Miller, but keep trying.
Yeah.
You know, keep doing
it.
I mean, you got a job, bro. You're doing more than us. You're doing more than us.
He's got a style that I like. He's got something like that.
Yeah, but you just hate motherfuckers. you just, you know. This is an important distinction that studios will have a rough time wrapping their heads around, at least as far as marketing departments go. The number of advertisements purchased for both live television product and brand placements, special exclusives that were limited to various hardware pieces and consoles, and the anticipation was not enough to bring an arguably mediocre product to long-term viability based on current reports that are coming from Japanese-facing journalists and advisors. I agree with him on that last bit there. This could also be the long-awaited turning point for fans of the industry as a whole, where merit is earned instead of... All right. Now we're just... all right.
Basically...
Okay, so we get the point.
Yeah.
Avengers didn't do well out the gate.
No. And it's not doing well a couple months after the gate's been opened.
Yeah, I saw it sold like something like 60-something% of what was expected or something, somewhere around the line. It lost a huge chunk. Maybe it was like 24%, didn't make it or something.
Now, would they be able to recoup their losses with the paid heroes that'll be coming out? If they got delayed, we covered that a while ago. Will that actually do anything?
Doubtful. I think this is the way of the anthem for Avengers now.
Mm-hmm, yeah. You did say that it could have gone that way, or it could have taken off.
We could have, but we keep getting these things delayed. The updates keep getting delayed. The game isn't getting any better. The game was kind of rough at launch. Even though I would like to, I have felt no pull to go back to it in a long, long time.
Mm-hmm. You want to like it more.
And even in this last week and a half or so, I wanted to like it more so bad. Even in this last week and a half or so, I've been thinking about deleting it from my console.
Mm-hmm. The console that you're going to be giving up pretty soon here. That's how bad it is.
I've got backwards compatibility, Connor.
Yeah.
Or will I be giving it up pretty soon? Who knows?
Yeah, maybe you won't have to get that until 2021.
Who knows, man? So this is rough. This sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this tells me that this game is going away. I did see that Final Fantasy VII Remake oversold what they were expecting.
Is that
so? That's a huge success. Well, I mean, overall, as a if you look at it big picture, those gains can make up for these losses.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was maybe bad for Final Fantasy in
no,
itself.
It's great for Final Fantasy.
Caveat that I didn't know about how business.
It probably just means we're getting another one soon.
Yeah. Get it out now. We want more money.
Yo, you know what's gonna be fucked up?
What is?
Is if they do DLC for one of these 7 remakes.
Hey guys, get it?
How would you do that? I don't even know.
Crisis Core DLC. That's too much.
You just blew my mind.
That is too much. And with what happens in that game, what would they do? Is it like
you could probably squeeze it into a 10-hour DLC?
So yeah, something like that.
You could probably squeeze it into that.
Or playable Sephiroth.
They just make a Crisis Core remake and have it become part of the main canon story of Final Fantasy VII.
They could, with what they're planning, probably don't need it.
Dude, they could have so many Final Fantasy VII remake games.
Like, bam, bam, we're gonna release everything that we want to do because we want to make money, and you guys will eat it up because it's good.
Well,
I would eat it up.
Yeah, there we go. Anyways, back to Avengers. Oh god, this has to hurt, man. Yeah. I just hope this doesn't blow back on Eidos Montreal because they're a super talented studio. Those first 2 Tomb Raider games were excellent.
The more I think about it, don't you think it just would have been better for them to do a normal game?
Yes.
Like, you and me were surprised when they had the microtransactions and the
everybody was surprised when this was a game as a service.
And it seems so obvious that that's a bad idea, yet they rolled with it, and now we're seeing what happens because of that.
I can see the pitch as to why it would work.
Yeah, it could have worked in a way.
And as someone who played Marvel's Avengers, this game is definitely a tale of two games. Mm-hmm. Like, there are moments in that game where it's like, oh, this is like Tomb Raider. And those are kind of my least favorite parts of the game because the polish of that game is so low that, it's not fun to do those set-piece moments. And then there's moments where it's like, okay, this is a looter-shooter type thing. All right, cool. And I enjoy those moments more because it allows for more chaotic gameplay. You don't have to focus as much. Your timing doesn't have to be correct. If a glitch happens, you forget about it in the next couple of moments. Mm-hmm. It's not that big of a deal. The problem is, overall, it's just there's just not enough polish. Obviously, the studio was torn in 2 directions. Obviously, that bled into the game design, and obviously, the game wasn't given. I don't want to say the game wasn't given enough time, but because it's been long reported that this game was supposed to be out a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But it's clear that they started development, and then they had to pivot, and that pivot caused the game that we have today. So. Would I have rather just a really cool single-player game? Yeah, sure, probably. With super high polish like a Tomb Raider? Yeah, sure, probably. I also would have preferred just a full from-the-beginning jump into games as a service for Avengers, because that makes more sense to me, personally, than a single-player experience of Avengers. In terms of, jumping into different characters, getting all the different skins, In games like this where you have to have group mechanics like, you know, you got a character who flies and shoots lasers. You got a character with a hammer who hits people. You got a guy with a shield. You got a Hulk. You got a Black Widow. You got all these things. All those different play styles typically just kind of lower the bar across the board. So when they were like, yeah, we're a games of service, I sat back and I said, that's weird. It's not what I expected, but it could work. It didn't.
No.
So, I mean, let's hope that they bounce back. I don't see how they could, though.
Neither do I. I hope the developers don't really have, as you were saying earlier, they don't really get screwed over with this in terms of things like possible layoffs or anything like that. I hope it's not, like, obviously it's not doing good, but hope it's not doing that bad that they would do that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see.
Yeah.
Once again, we will wait and see. This is something to return to in, well, probably a year, you know, when we do a yearly checkup on where Avengers is at. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you know, every year preceding that.
Yeah.
Let's see how quickly IDOS puts out a new game type thing. Connor, that is it for the news today.
I had trouble this week finding stuff. I messaged you that, but it's been pretty.
It was a lighter week. It was a lighter week. I think everybody was focused on other things.
Yes, and
understandably so.
Yeah.
At least here in the West. So let's go ahead, jump into what we've been playing.
Yeah, I've been playing fuck all.
Same.
But, you know...
I haven't even really touched a controller that much this week.
Neither have I. But what I did find out was that, you know, I think this is the impact that me having played console games for so long has done to me. But I spent a straight 2 days trying to find out how to mod Fallout New Vegas, and I just can't do it.
Modding is hard, dude.
It's difficult.
It's hard. If you don't know what you're doing, it's hard. I spent a week trying to mod the first Mass Effect game.
That's another level, though. Like,
and I was trying to do like a bunch of stuff at once. Mm-hmm. And I failed dramatically.
And you gave up.
Well, I mean, you know, I hit the support groups, I hit the chats and stuff, and they were telling me to do things that I didn't understand, and I said, how do I do that? And nobody responded, and I said, all right, well, you know, I'll try this again some other time.
I'll go to my friend Spencer. You know, I asked him earlier, and he said things, and I was like, how do you know all this stuff off the top of your head? He's like, oh, you know...
well, the thing is like, once you know, you know.
Blah, yeah.
Yeah, once you know, and you can pretty much figure it out pretty easily from there.
My issue has been setting everything up, because it seems so particular when I have to type in certain... I have to create certain folders and have to create folders within those folders, and sometimes I have to create
the computer needs to know how to read it, and how to find the files.
And I think I do those things right, but it just...
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what we haven't talked about on this podcast?
What have we not?
Steve. We talked about Steve and Smash.
We did play him.
We've been playing him.
Well,
I've been playing
a lot of them. I've realized he's a character could I get good with? Probably, but not the character I find to be that fun to play as.
He's very stiff.
Yes.
He's very stiff in some very unique ways. And he's got so many moves, and they're so technical that it's very difficult to do what you want to do when you're in the heat of the moment. However, I find him super fun. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just exciting every time I do what I want to do exactly, and I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, get you. But then it's super frustrating every time, like, I want to plant a block, but instead I just smack in the air. Or, you know, like, the building, I think, is not as fast as it should be. And too many different commands are set to the same button. And it's like, fuck, like, this is hard. Mm-hmm. But overall, I think he's a really fun character. And there's a charm to him that no other character in the game has.
The most unique, I would say, out of all the Smash characters.
Oh, by far. Mm-hmm. And I think it really is a testament to how good, you know, Sakurai and all of them are at what they do. Because they did a damn good job, and they didn't care about Steve from Minecraft, but they kicked ass, and they did an excellent job at making him.
They get handed jobs they clearly don't want to really do or care about, and they just do it really well.
Who's next for Smash?
That's what I was wondering about. The person inside of me that's yelling at me about what I want is Dante from Devil May Cry.
That one would make sense.
I want him so much.
That would make sense.
Much. It would make sense too. That's the great thing. But they had I remember I was really hopeful when it was Terry, I think, that it was announced, or Min Min, the ARMS character.
Yeah, that was the first character for this new pack.
Yes. Because there was
who I haven't even touched yet. She's on the console.
I've touched her. I actually played her fairly recently. The reason why you haven't really heard much about her is because she's very limited in what she can do. She has an arm that punches a long way. And that's like almost every single thing that's good about her character.
Out to arms.
Yeah, that's all it does. And it's long, and it can get people by surprise, but it's just so hard to kill people with it. But going back to Devil May Cry, when it was first announced that there was going to be a new character, the day that it was going to be announced, or around the time it was going to be announced, was the same exact day where that definitive edition of the Devil May Cry games was going to be coming to Switch. And I was hoping that was going to be, the day. It was going to be,
crossover here.
Dante's here. But no, it was not.
What do you think the chances of Doom Guy are?
Low, I think. It's low. But,
I mean, compare that to Master Chief.
Impossible. No, we would get Doom Guy before Master Chief.
You think?
I definitely think so. Doom is on Switch. They have that. It's easier to put
Steve
it on
is in the game. Like, Steve and Banjo-Kazooie are in the game.
That is true. But Doom Guy is the newest character that's come out, and it would make sense for him to be
No, he's not.
there. He's come out before. There's no... It was the last game to come out on Switch outside of outside of a Halo. We haven't had a game.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying it's a third-party game that came to Switch.
Yes, it came to
and
Switch.
With Halo, it hasn't.
No, it has no. It has no connection to Switch. But you are right; they do have Steve in there.
I think you do. Joker. I think you do both, and you do Echo characters.
Echo characters, huh? Yeah. You got the shotgun. You got the.
I think you open with Doom Guy, and then
you
you show that Master Chief is an Echo fighter.
They could do that. They really could do that, couldn't they?
Yeah. And I think it makes way more sense. Like, the more you think about it, I think it makes more sense.
I would like them in the game.
All the elements are there.
I mean, you have Snake. Snake is kind of in that same realm in terms of the type of character they are.
Nah,
I always think they could go well together.
No, because Snake is more punchy.
He is more punchy, but still, they're from franchises that are more serious.
Tonally, I guess. Tonally, sure, kind of. Halo's pretty campy and silly, and so is Doom in its own way.
Metal Gear Solid's also very campy. You play
super campy, but it's not silly. It's got silly elements.
Isn't that
but it does not treat itself silly.
Shitting in a can in a war zone?
That's just fun. Yeah, I mean, when you gotta go, right?
Yes, you do. And anything involving poop jokes are silly.
That's not like the main. Like, that happens once, and then we move on, and we go ha 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 ha.
That's the kind of stuff that happens, though. This is like one of my Japanese animes.
But
Japanese animes.
That happens. That's the 90s, man.
Oh, come on.
That's the 90s, man.
Well, that's the 90s, and that's different.
No, you have to compare it to its contemporaries.
By the way, one character that you mentioned just shits all the time. That's the joke, right? Like, he always has to go to the restroom. Benny in Metal Gear Solid 4, the same one where that joke is. Johnny, yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of his character.
He's in all of them.
Yeah.
Goes to the bathroom a lot. He's got heavy diarrhea, that guy.
We are getting off track.
Yeah.
Big time, yeah.
No, but I seriously think, I don't see how Doom Guy and Master Chief could be Echo characters easy.
Yeah, they could be. I would
swap some assets out and you're there.
Mm-hmm.
We should work at Nintendo.
No, we should not.
Look at all this money we'd bring in.
We would. Well,
people would buy copies of Switch to play as those two characters. They would play to play as Master Chief. They would buy copies of Smash.
Not Doom Guy?
Nah. Doom Guy doesn't have the relevance that Master Chief does.
I think he does now. He's a more relevant character as of right now. As of right now, he is.
People don't care about Doom as much as they care about Halo.
Well, something that I think about is the ARMS character, Min Min. She came out at a time where ARMS 2 was coming out, and that was
nothing about ARMS 2.
Okay, ARMS. You know what? ARMS sucks. It's stupid. It's a dumb game. It's stupid. I don't even bother remembering it. It's just a dumb game, and it's pushed so much. It's so stupid. Why would they include her? Why would they include her? Like, they put a lot of work into Steve. Min Min, there's no work put into that. It's like, they got the fucking long arms.
There's a lot of work. This whole combo system.
Long arms.
You change the arms.
Long arms.
The arms do different things.
Long arms. I'm talking about Smash Bros.
I know.
You change the arms.
You can change the arms. You can combo the arms. I feel like you don't know what you're talking about right now.
Man, I played Min like once, but
you don't know what you're talking about.
She punches long. She sucks.
I was curious when we were gonna get one of these just totally what is the word I'm looking for?
Unbased.
Yeah. This is like I keep coming on unprecedented, but it's very precedented. This is very much a thing you do in personal life.
Yeah.
Just kind of like out of nowhere, just doesn't care about facts.
No, I don't care. It's just stupid.
16 episodes is when we got it.
It's just
16
stupid.
episodes is when we got it.
Dumb game for dumb babies. I haven't been playing anything. You haven't been playing anything. That's what we've been doing.
I've been playing more Ghosts. I've been playing more.
You've been playing more Ghosts.
Persona 5.
I haven't been playing more Ghosts.
They added into Ghosts. They added what are they called? Like armor sets, not like
skins.
No. What are they called? Loadouts. They added loadouts. So that every time you switch to a different armor, you don't have to go through and change all your charms, and you don't have to change any of the more cosmetic items like your headband or your mask or whatever. It saves all of those things. So you can jump you can jump into a piece of armor, set the charms, and then when you jump back into your other armor, whatever charms you had before then are the ones you have now.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, better, just quality of life increase.
Yeah. Should have been in the game at launch. You know what also should be in the fucking game? A fucking lock-on button. You know what else should be in the game? A way to fucking change my goddamn button mapping.
I agree with that last one. Quit being a baby about the lock-on.
No!
Even though it's a valid complaint.
It's more valid than my button mapping argument.
Button mapping's like a standard, though, in games like...
In every game.
Games.
You should have multiple ways to play your game.
Should have been expected. Lock-on is a system in and of itself that's up for the developers
in
to
the
choose.
Same year where Last of Us 2 sets a new benchmark for accessibility, fucking Ghost of Tsushima falls so flat. You know?
It must be hard for some people to play that game.
It must be super hard for some people to play that game. Me, who's a super able-bodied gamer and has no real issues other than, like, my eyes aren't that bad, so I have to wear, or my eyes aren't that great, so I have to wear eyeglasses, but, like, that's an easy, common fix. But, like, can you imagine if, like, your thumbs, like, hurt every time you had to press the circle button? Mm-hmm. Like, Jesus Christ! Like,
well, you and me don't have that problem, so why should it matter?
No, yeah, ugh. Mm-hmm. I hate the button mapping in that game. It's terrible. Why the fuck is... I'm trying to remember what my complaint was the last time I played.
No, to be quite honest, Tavin, it's been a repetition of
I know, because I keep playing this game, because it's a good game. Yeah. It's a quality game. But this nitpick I have bothers me more and more every time I play. I go, fuck, man, I don't want to... You know?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 16 of your Two Pennies Gamescast. Once again, you can catch us Monday mornings, 8 a.m. on YouTube and SoundCloud. Until then, say bye to the people, Connor.
I'm not playing into your game.
Connor?
I'm not playing into your game.
Connor, say bye to the people. Be nice.
I bid you adieu.